I've been involved in the environmental movement since the 60s, and I haven't seen that much change. You've got these environmentalists, and they're out there trying to change it through legislation. But, you know, meanwhile, the people who are doing the damage are people who are self-focused, and they're out for self-gain. Those are the people that have to have a transformation and a renewal of their thinking. Christians included, they need a worldview change because they have to understand that God does care about His creation and has commissioned us to care about it. When I first started this, I started working with a couple guys from the Parks and Recreation Service, and they brought to me a statistic that I thought was pretty interesting. They said that in the last 10 years, the state of Idaho had increased 10% in population, and at the same time decreased 10% in the use of the wilderness areas. I thought, wow, that's interesting. My theory is this, is that what you don't experience, you don't appreciate. What you don't appreciate, you're not going to care for. I have a deep concern for the environment because I've lived in it, I love it, I use it, I value it, I know what it's like, and I don't want it lost. But kids today have lost that opportunity. So I realized I got to get my church out in the mountains. I did a number of things. One thing I did is I asked people if they would bring in photographs of their families or experiences they personally had had in the wilderness area of Idaho. And we blew them all up into 11 by 14s and made a big, huge gallery of people in the mountains. And then I contacted the U.S. Forest Service and I said, listen, you know, we're a church. We're not environmentalists. You are. You're an environmental agency, you know, and we don't know what we're doing. You know what you're doing, but we do know that we are an agency that's called to serve. How can we serve you? And Idaho's got these miles and miles and miles of backcountry trails that need repair. And so a lot of these trails are being lost. A lot of the topo maps of the wilderness are inaccurate anymore, and so they're trying to correct that. And so they're needing people just to put a GPS on their back that will hike the trails so they can actually retrack the trails. So we said, we'll do all that for you. So we started doing backcountry trail work, restoring old trails. We actually made some new trails. We started doing GPS tracking, taking teams. Our people started having a wonderful time in the mountains again. And people were exposed to the Idaho wilderness through our efforts. And because of it, they started caring about it. You change their heart, and you're going to change their mind. If you change their mind, you're going to change their actions and their worldview.